Yay Networks.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Spill the Beans podcast.
Guys, hello. We just wanted to say a quick disclaimer. We're on the same side, even though a lot of people said that it threw them off last week. So let me start off by saying, when we started the podcast, no, not even, like a year into the podcast, you guys remember Jonathan ended up going like down the bad path where he wasn't confident, and unfortunately I married a guy that has the same good side as me. So for a year and a half you had your good side, right? Because you liked showing your fade and whatever. So then because I was really confident, because I was like at my prime kind of after Franco's pregnancy, and then we come to my postpartum with Bello, where I'm losing no weight. I just look like a big back and I am not confident at all. And I'm not even saying it myself. Like, you guys literally, if you go 2 podcasts back, the comments are so mean, telling me that I got thicker and that I'm fat and that I make Jonathan look skinny. So yeah, I'm not confident, and this is my good side. And even if you don't think so, that's what I think. So for the time being, until I get back my confidence, this is how it's gonna be. You are very
beautiful to me. Yeah, guys, so I went ahead and sat on my side thinking that I was just, letting her borrow it for a little, little vibes. But she's like, get out. And then I was like, why? And she's like, that's my side from now on. And I was like, you know what? You came through for me when I was at my low. And now even though she literally already started going to sculpt for like 3 days and was already back to being skinny, she still isn't confident. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I have to be there for her. So
for the first time in a long time, I'm not confident because of the comments. You guys literally saying that.
Babe, but you have to look at the positive. Like,
and
how many tell you look pretty and you look so nice and you're glowing, and then it's like 3 people that
I know, but it's hard. Like, people always say this, out of 1,000 good comments, there's one mean one. And it's like, there were like 5 saying that I look chunky. Or in my DMs, people with their profiles in my DMs saying that I look chunky. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to face it. I'm not confident right now. And I appreciate you letting me have my side.
Because, like, how do you tell someone else, like...
No, how do you tell a postpartum mom that she's chunky?
You just know pretty girls aren't commenting that. Like, let's just face it.
Yeah. Confident girls aren't commenting that.
Yeah. But guys, we're back. I feel like, did we take last week off?
No. But we talked about Mexico again. So we talked about Mexico back to back.
Okay. It feels like I haven't seen them in forever, but it's just because we are stuck in the past.
Yeah, we were stuck in the past for a while, guys. But there have been so many things that happened after Mexico, and we want to kind of get into it a little bit, because just another disclaimer, the next couple of minutes are going to be talking about our toddler and like parent stuff. So if you don't like it, it's okay. Just skip ahead like 10 minutes. But we got back from Mexico, and like probably 4 days in, out of nowhere, Franco just potty trained himself. So we kind of want to talk about it because we posted on Instagram kind of out of nowhere, and everyone's like, how? Like, please give me tips. He's so young. So we're just going to talk about it for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I want to start off with a disclaimer that that my son is just freaking smart, and he gets that from daddy, and like he's just the smartest kid. Because you know what? Like, I feel like we remember like a few podcasts back, I'm not going to say who, but like there was this kid and he was like the same age as Franco, and like we were talking about like how Franco is very like advanced, and I remember to not make like the other parents feel bad. Like, I was like, oh, but it's okay. Like I was trying to make Franco's achievements like diminish him kind of. Like saying like kind of hyping up the other kid and not hyping up my own son. But I was like, you know what? That's messed up. Like, my son is freaking smart, because I'm like, whatever, I consider myself all right, brain wise. But I remember going to preschool and being like 3 years old, 3.5, and I would still have accidents. And right now, sure Franco,
people are still going to have, he's still going to have accidents.
He hasn't
yet, but he can still.
The only time he had an accident was with me, because I didn't, no, it wasn't even an accident. It was the first time that I took him, remember? Because he says, quiero ser popo for both right now.
Yeah.
Pipí and popo. Well, back like a week ago. Now he does it. He learned so quick. So he was literally on the toilet and I thought he had to poop. So then the pee just shot out from his weenie and wet all his underwear and his pants. But that was my fault because I didn't like point it down, you know?
Yeah.
So that's not even an accident from his part. That was me not like knowing that pee, like, quiero ser de la popó meant, you know, both at the moment.
Yeah, I guess what we're trying to say is like, well, it's probably not what you're trying to say, but I just mean every kid develops at their own time. If your baby isn't doing what someone else's baby isn't doing, who cares?
Okay,
at the end of the day,
let me keep explaining. I didn't want to just boast my son like that. There was a reason behind that. Like every kid is gonna learn things differently and be smart in their own way. So Franco, luckily, like I feel like potty training is a very independent like activity.
Yeah, and
he is a very independent person. But like you try to give him instructions or to try to look for the control on the remote,
he cannot find it.
The remote on the couch, he cannot find it.
But I think that's just a man thing.
Yeah,
because
so I'm just saying,
tell
like,
you, can you give me the thing that's on the couch? And you're like, where? You know?
Yeah, so I like right now because we have been getting a lot of DMs like how like he's so smart. My kid is 3 and he's still blah blah blah. I was like, okay, relax. Don't compare social media, and just focus on your baby's strengths and don't put them down, you know?
No, you're like, the thing that I like to go based off is like, they're eventually going to talk. They're eventually going to use the potty. They're eventually going to be adults, you know? Like what, you don't have to rush them at all.
Don't rush them
Take everything at your own time.
I'm sad right now that he's potty trained. I was like, because in my head I was like, I was 3.5. I was like, it should have taken a little bit longer, you know? Our little man, like, he's not a baby anymore. It makes me so sad. Like you went from like, I got really sad right now when I was getting ready. I was like, you went from like cleaning his blow-ups to like wiping his butt on the toilet. Like that's insane.
It's too crazy, guys. Expensive, exhausting, stinky. When your bundle of joy makes a bundle of business, Hello Bello's got your baby's butt covered through diapers.
Hello Bello believes all families deserve premium, affordable baby products. With their ultra-convenient diaper bundle subscription service that includes 7 packs of diapers and 4 packs of plant-based wipes, you'll never run out of supplies.
Better yet, they're delivered to your door. You can set, change, and cancel your delivery schedule whenever you want.
And better yet, Hello Bello diapers are made in the U.S. and are the first privately held company to do so.
As a parent, we know how hard it is to have everything you need to buy all the time. Hello Bello is a busy parent's dream.
Named Best Diaper Subscription by New York Magazine and winner of the 2022 Good Housekeeping Parenting Award, Hello Bello will keep you well stocked on diapers and wipes.
Go to hellobello.com/spillthebeans to get 30% off your first customized bundle and a full-size freebie product of your choice.
That's hellobello.com/spillthebeans to start bundling with 30% off your first order.
Don't forget, that's hellobello.com/spillthebeans. I did want to start off by saying that we kind of tried to potty train him, what would you say, like 2 months ago? I tried to start introducing it to him 2 months ago, and he was just like, no, mama, or like he'd be...
Well, he started it, no?
Kind of, but like we would try to tell him to go in the toilet, and he was scared of it. So I decided to just like cold turkey stop. Like, I'm not going to push this on him. He's going to eventually want to do it. And then... so we stopped, and then he kind of started like telling us when he had to poop, or he started telling us when it was like time, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna go, like he said, oh, me quiero esconder, and every time he told us like, oh, I want to hide, I'm like, oh, he has to poop. So then slowly he's gonna start telling me like, mama, quiero hacer del baño, because I feel like him by himself, he slowly started getting uncomfortable with that feeling.
Yeah.
So basically, I started thinking like, oh, should I get him a little potty, you know, the portable ones that you can take everywhere, or should I get him a little seat that can glue onto our seat and then he won't fall into it? But I thought of all of that, and then I kept seeing videos where it's like, don't do it, because then they're going to get used to just doing it there. So I was like, okay, you know what? Like, let's just wait until he is ready. Like, he tells us that he's ready.
Or the flush sometimes scares kids that don't do that. Mm-hmm. It's like dogs, like, number one thing is don't do the pads on the ground, like inside your house. Get used to it. They'll get used to that, and I feel like that's the same. They just want to poop in their little Paw Patrol toilet seat. Mm-hmm. It's cute, and like you want the memories, but big boy seat, you know. Yeah, and I think another thing that I really want to emphasize is you have to make it fun. Everything, when you teach kids, obviously you want to make everything fun. So the first thing that I thought of was like, oh,
los caballos hacen en la taza. You know, like I just have to tell him the animals that he likes use the toilet, even though they obviously don't. But it makes him excited. And then I'm like, y luego le puedes bajar. Like you can flush it by yourself. And then you can get on the stool and wash your hands. You know, like you just have to make it fun for them and they'll do it. But basically, how did it even start? Do you remember?
He would start saying, me voy a esconder. And then right when he says that, he kind of builds like a little fort, or he goes under the kitchen table and poops. You grab him and you would sit him. Mm-hmm. And then we would be like, kids don't know, haz de la popó, you know? So then you like little things, like we would joke around before, like que se echaba pedos, like in the living room or something. And we would crack up, right? So then you get on the toilet seat and you start telling them, échate un pedo.
Fart. You know? Yeah, so basically before Mexico, he kind of started doing it. And I wanted to keep going, and it would have been great to take a potty trained toddler, but then I kept thinking, because I don't know, as I get older and more into my parenthood, I'm starting to get a lot of like germaphobe kind of ideas. Like I get really grossed out at public bathrooms. But anyways, I kept thinking like, in the airport, in the airplane, if he has to go, and I was like, it's just not worth it. So we stopped, even though he was already telling us. And I tried when we were in Mexico, like at my grandma's house. I was like, do you have to go? And he actually ended up getting sick over there. So he was like scared to poop because he was sick. And so we ended up, okay, whatever, we'll just do it when you're ready. We get home and we're literally still sick. And I was like, this kind of sucks. Like, because this is too much information, right? But he was going like often because his tummy felt bad. So then at the end of the day, I just kept telling him like, for it not to hurt you, like let's just go in the toilet. And then he like, kids trust you so much that he's like, okay, like she kind of makes sense a little bit. The first time I do it, he loves it, and we're like cracking up because I'm telling him like, horses poop in the toilet. Your dad farts so funny, huh? So how does he fart? And then he would do it, right? And so because kids want to be like their parents, so he obviously wants to be like you. So I would tell him. And then he enjoyed flushing the toilet, and then he enjoyed washing his hands. So de ahí te agarras, literally. Like you have to go based off what your kid likes and what they think is funny. And I was like, okay, this is going to take a long time. But he ended up waking up with dry diapers from the whole night. He ended up napping and waking up with a dry diaper. Like he didn't pee during his nap. So slowly I was like, is this happening? So one day I just sent Jonathan. I was like, hey, like take him to pick out some cool underwear. And Jonathan took him to Target to pick up some underwear. And he was just kind of like...
Yeah, he's so grown.
Yeah, like he just tells us like, quiero ir. Tengo que hacer pipí. Tengo que hacer popó. And we just take him and he does it. And I think what helps is also that when he tells me like, hey, I want to pee, and then like literally not even 30 seconds later, he tells me he has to go again, I take him again. Yeah. And he trusts, he's like, okay, anytime I tell mom, like she's going to take me, even though I'm like, I don't think he does, like maybe he just feels nervous or he's getting like a tummy ache or something. But I think that's it. Like you just really have to make your kid trust you. You cannot make them be scared. Like you can't yell at them while they're doing it. If you sit them down and they don't want to, you can't yell at them because you're slowly going to scare them off. So you just have to be super mindful and super patient when you're potty training. But that's just our experience. And super consistent.
Just consistency is key, guys. Blanca takes Franco every like 10 times an hour, and I do too, but like at the beginning, well, now it's more me sometimes, more often, not more, it's still Blanca more, but just more often, because at the beginning it was kind of their little thing. You know, you guys had a little ritual. And then eventually I think I started to, because you weren't home or whatever, you were at yoga. And then now he wants me to take him. And now
he trusts both of us. And it's just a lot comes with it. Like at the beginning, he just wanted to go in his bathroom. And he's like, no, arriba. And I was like, no, but this one's fine too. So it's also getting them used to just doing it in the bathroom. And then slowly but surely, like these tiny humans become so independent to the point where when we went out for my brother's birthday dinner, I was like, I'm just going to put a diaper on him because I don't want him to like struggle at dinner. And he was like, ¿por qué me pones pañal? And I was like, okay. And then I took him to the bathroom and he's like, ¿por qué no me quitas el pañal? Quiero calzón. And I'm like, okay, sir. And he didn't use the bathroom there, but still, you know. And like slowly but surely, like we started taking him out and he's fine when we're out.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Thought the wise stage was when they were older.
What?
It's just so funny because growing up, before we had kids, you always hear about the why stage. Why? But then we never thought about that we were going to teach our kids puro español al principio. So that why turned into ¿por qué? But it's just so much funnier in Spanish. Porque Franco's like, ¿por qué me haces esto? ¿Por qué me limpias? ¿Por qué? You know, it's the
¿Por qué me lavas las manos?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
anyways.
guys, we got a big boy. And I think it also doesn't help, or, I mean, rhetorically it does help. But like when you have a baby and you have a toddler, it just makes your toddler look like he's 15 years old.
Yeah.
So like having Belen, like baby, like she's a real baby, you know, she was a newborn and an infant, whatever you call them. And now Franco next to Belen, the things he's doing is just like he's a little teen, you know.
The age gap that we had them was perfect, but it's also like I cannot imagine, because we kept saying like, oh, 3, 4, 5 years till the next one. And I'm like, I thought that he was still going to be a baby. Like we still had to, you know, have him in diapers, and like, I don't even know what I thought, but basically, yeah, like he is older and more independent, and it basically just go off of what your baby tells you, right? Because you cannot make your babies do what you want them to do, because they're going to do it at their own pace. Anything, crawling, eating, any developmental skill, everyone's going to do it at a different time, you know? And so just go to bed safe and sound at night, knowing that eventually they're going to do something that you've been wanting them to do, and you just have to give them time and patience and love.
This podcast is sponsored by Nurture Life.
As a parent, I don't need to tell you how busy you are all the time. Our next partner makes mealtime so much easier and much more enjoyable.
Nurture Life is a meal delivery service focused on helping busy parents easily feed their babies and kids from 10 months old to 10 years old.
The company provides fresh meals and snacks that are delicious, nutritious, and fully cooked. That means they are ready to serve in just 1 minute.
Nurture Life lets kids enjoy a healthy, nutritionally balanced diet while still eating all their favorites like mac and cheese, spaghetti and meatballs, and much more. So parents can be sure there's always something on the menu that their little ones will love.
What sets Nurture Life apart from other meal delivery services? Without a doubt, it's how amazing they taste and how healthy they are. It's because their meals are made fresh every week. Seriously, they're never frozen, and they're shipped directly to your door.
Our kids love them, and even I was sneaking in some bites with every meal. That's why Nurture Life is a top meal delivery service for babies and kids, and it is even allergy friendly too.
I feel like we sound like broken records every time we say we're parents of 2, a baby and a toddler. We're always busy, but it is really true. And Nurture Life has saved us so much. The food is literally ready in 1 minute, so I don't have to brainstorm what I'm going to cook my kid for lunch.
Using Nurture Life is simple. Select from over 50 varieties of nutritious, balanced meals on their weekly menu, from finger foods for babies and toddlers to kids' meals for older kids. Then Nurture Life does the cooking for you, and the fresh meals are delivered straight to your door in refrigerated packaging.
The latest box we got was amazing because Franco loves mac and cheese, and just knowing that I can set it in the microwave for 1 minute and it's ready is great, especially because I know that they're healthy meals that are never frozen.
Also, as a parent, we have a lot of peace of mind knowing that these meals come from a registered dietitian, so they plan everything for you.
It's about time that a flexible meal subscription exists for babies and kids. So head to nurturelife.com and use code SPILLTHEBEANS for 55% off your first order. That's right, 55% off.
Once again, nurturelife.com for 55% off, and make sure you use our promo code SPILLTHEBEANS so they know we sent you.
Yeah, guys, that was our little potty training. Did you have anything to add to it?
No, just like what you were going to say, that every kid is different. Like a lot of parents pride themselves on how quickly their child grows up, and how like my ideas of that have never changed. It's always made me sad. You know, like a lot of parents like to show off like, oh, my kid started walking at 8, 9, 10 months old. Like that's so crazy. Like trying to show off to you that like, oh, my kid is so advanced. But when they turn 5, they're going to be on the same team. When they're in high school, they're going to be on the same soccer team. The difference is going to be that I'm going to be there every second playing outside when he asks me to. You might like be annoyed by it later on when they turn 10 and you don't, and he's out there playing by himself.
Yeah,
like,
and
you
also,
know, like that's what matters. And it doesn't matter how early they do it. It's like how much love and attention you participate in with them later.
Yeah, and it does not matter at all, because when, as Jonathan said, when they're like 5 or 6, no one's gonna be like, oh, at what age did he start sleeping through the night, or what age did he get potty trained, when did he start talking? Nobody cares, because those skills you already have, you know. So don't ever like fall down a negative space about that, because it honestly does not matter unless you actually like get worried. Then you can talk to your pediatrician always, but everyone learns at their own
Franco
space.
started showing signs of walking at 1 and like a month, which is like, I would say average. And I was literally pushing him down because I didn't want him to walk.
No, he was showing signs at 1.
Yeah.
At 1 year exactly.
Walked at 1.
Walked.
And I was like, nope, you're not walking. Like, I'm not going to help you.
And you guys know why he walked? It was because we were on the trip with Lulu and Compadre, and he kept seeing Catalina. And it's true, guys. When kids see other kids and they want to go and do what they are doing, they're going to walk. And he literally he took his first steps in California. So, yeah. We're like, I don't know. Like, when they're like, oh, when do you think Belen's going to walk? I'm like, I'm already sad she's starting solids next month. Like, don't tell me. I'm so sad. But yeah, we wanted to give an update on potty training and kind of I asked you guys on Instagram what you guys wanted us to talk about. And someone else wants us to talk a little bit about our weight loss journey because of the stories I posted the other day. And this is something I really wanted to bring light to, because I remember, you guys know, like Jonathan and I are always like, we need to shut up. Like, we need to stop talking. Yeah, because
that's what I did. That's what I stopped. Like, every time I'd be like, all right, starting my health journey, come along with me. And it lasts 3 days.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I'm going to shut up. And until someone tells me that I look skinnier, then okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted to kind of dive in, because the reason I want to talk about it is because for the first time in a long time, a lot of people started like doubling down on my weight gain from pregnancy. So I was like, okay, like I'm just going to talk about it because obviously it's obvious to everybody. But I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown. And this is why I say that I shut up and I stopped talking about anything in my life anymore, because when I had Franco, I gained, in my pregnancy, I only gained 10 pounds, which was literally only him like a couple of pounds, because he was like 7 pounds when he was born. And then when I was in my cuarentena, I went down to 147 pounds. Just in my quarantena, just from breastfeeding, because prior to being pregnant, I was 160 pounds. So I was lighter than I was before I was pregnant. And then when I started working out, obviously, like I got even more toned. So my lowest weight was 142 pounds. And that was like something I hadn't, I hadn't been that since I was in high school.
What'd you weigh in high school?
In high school, I weighed like 137 to 140. Really? It would range.
When I met you?
Yeah. And you know why I know? Because when I was in wrestling, I would have to weigh in like all the time.
Middle school?
So I used to be like a 136 in middle school. Yeah. So
when I met you, you were 140?
I was like 137 probably. No, I was 140. And then senior year when I got super skinny, I was 137.
Because when I met you, you weren't fat, but you were like, you were just really like, your butt was huge.
I had muscles because I was always in sports.
Yeah, a lot of muscle.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you were heavy. Okay.
Yeah, so I had not weighed that in a long time. Guys, when I tell you I was feeling myself after I had Franco, I was in my prime before I got pregnant again, girl. Don't even get me started. So obviously, like that happens to me my first time, and then I'm like, oh, it's gonna be the same with Belen. Negative. We go to my what was it when I started noticing, babe? Like my 6-month appointment, probably. When I was like, damn, I'm gaining a lot of
I think it was like after the cuarentena, you were like,
no, like in my pregnancy with Belen.
Oh, in your pregnancy.
Remember, I even asked the freaking doctor. I was like, why am I gaining so much weight?
Yeah.
And she's like, maybe because you're snacking more. I'm like, shut up, lady. She was so mean. Yeah. But yeah, and I was gaining weight. I remember, I was 155?
52, no?
152 before I got pregnant. And then I like go and start weighing in, and like I remember my 8th month appointment, I was like 169 probably, and I was like, what the hell?
What's the heaviest you got?
I
remember there was a point you didn't even want me to look at the scale, but like as a man, we don't have any.
I was 172.
I don't know what a like fat or isn't fat.
My last appointment was 172.
Oh, okay.
That was I had never in my life reached the 170s, right? So yeah, I got super heavy with Belen, and then my cuarentena ends. Well, I'm in the cuarentena, I'm like, why am I not snatching up? I'm breastfeeding, whatever. So I go down the huge rabbit hole because my mom's like, es que las niñas te ponen bien ancha, es que las niñas. So I keep like go down a rabbit hole, which of course is probably conspiracy and it's not true, but maybe there is some truth to it. But my theory and a lot of people's theories is that when you have a girl they eat a lot. Belen eats a lot. She's so chunky. She's been chunky since she was born. I mean, after she was born, she started getting a lot of weight. So basically, the theory is that because she eats so much all the time, my body is always on like kind of flight or fight. So it's storing all the fat it possibly can because it needs to be making more milk. So I was not losing inches, girl. I wasn't shedding nothing. I was just storing it because my body was like, what the hell? I need to make so much milk for this baby that it needs so much milk. So I wasn't losing any weight. And then I got a little bit paranoid because I'm like, if I stop eating, I'm going to stop making milk, and I don't want to stop breastfeeding. I always had that in the back of my mind. I don't want to lose my milk supply at all whatsoever. So that's always in the back of my mind. So I'm like, you know what, when I get to like my 5-month mark and she's like getting older and she's fine, I'm going to start seeing if I can lose weight. But I was like, I was always so scared of stopping eating and like going into like a calorie deficit basically. And then we get to Mexico. We get super sick. I lose weight without knowing. We get home and Jonathan's like, oh, have you weighed yourself? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And I was like, what the heck? Why would I weigh myself? I weigh myself. I went from 163 to 157 in Mexico. And I was like, oh, de aquí soy. So that was basically all I needed. I needed a jump start to my health journey, but also in like the last 2 days, we would eat like 2 little meals and just drink a bunch of water, right? Like get super hydrated. So I was like, okay, first of all, I found out that I can lose weight while breastfeeding. Second of all, I found out that she doesn't need me to be eating so much calories because I was literally not even eating, just hydrating. And that's all she needs to get milk out of me. So it was those 2 factors that I was like, okay, I can start. And then
she's starting solid.
And yeah, she started solids here soon. So then I was like, okay, then if I start going to the gym, I start eating less and just make sure I stay super hydrated, I can do it. And within a week, I went down to 155.
So what are you at right now?
154. I'm at 154.
When's the last time you weighed yourself though?
This
like
morning.
3 days?
No, this morning. Oh. Yeah. So, but the main thing that I really think is what solidified my weight loss, guys, is my snacking at night.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest.
That's the only thing probably.
That's the only
was
thing.
Holding me.
I mean, you were like, why am I not losing weight? And finishes a whole package of chip Oreos or what is it?
Ahoy.
Chips Ahoy.
My toxic trait was every night. Well, it wasn't my toxic trait. It was my reward. Every night after putting the kids to bed.
It's like a reward.
We would sit down, scroll on TikTok, rot in bed, and eat my sweets. I would eat a glass of milk with cookies, cereal, ice cream, whatever. Like Jonathan would go to McDonald's at 10 p.m. to get me an Oreo McFlurry, you know? So it was like,
spicy
that was my reward. No es cierto, no that was my reward, like from a long day, just eating ice cream. And so now what I changed when we got back was, okay, you know what? We're putting the kids to bed and we are not coming downstairs anymore, because that was when I was like, what snack is in there? Yeah. So yeah, if I do eat like anything sweet, I usually do it in the morning. Or I kind of make it to my coffee's only sweet thing I eat. Or just like I stop eating at 8 p.m. period every day. Yeah. And I just keep hydrating. And that is the main thing. Was my kickstart from getting the stomach bug or food poisoning, whatever. And then knowing that I can produce milk without eating so many calories. And then stopping snacking at night because... But then another factor, of course, is working out. I started sculpt yoga again. It's amazing. It kicks my butt. And I burn like 400 calories every day just doing sculpt, you know. So that is my weight loss journey so far. I'm 5 pounds away from my goal, which is 150. But if I can get down to 145, girl, I'm going to be unstoppable. Dang. And also I just wanted to say, like, the number on the scale should not matter ever. It's just how you feel and how you look. But for me, it's like a really good
that's what everyone says, but it does matter.
No, not really, because I used to be 150 and I was skinny and I had a big butt, you know. And when I got really skinny, like 145, I didn't have a butt. I kind of lost it. So, yeah, that's how I lost weight. Do you want to tell them how you lost weight, honey bunch?
Basically, guys, I just stopped eating so much. You know what? I faced it. I was always the guy. Me and my dad have this problem, and we like chismear about it. We're like, pues ni comemos. You know, like I don't have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't. I'll have breakfast occasionally. What do you say? Occasionally, and it's when your mom makes chilaquiles. If she doesn't make chilaquiles, I'm not eating breakfast.
You're just having a protein shake.
Yeah. And then I would have and then at night, or like not night, like at 6, I would have the big meal, you know? But then me and my dad were always like lying to each other, basically. Like, pues ni comemos tanto, like, ¿por qué no bajamos de peso? Like, ni como una vez al día. But then I was like, how much do we snack? It was the snacking that was killing us. I was getting chips, cookies, whatever I could do to hold off my stomach in the meantime of like the big meal, you know? And then once the big meal came, it was the big meal, like a lot of calories.
It was breakfast, lunch, and dinner
all in
one
meal. And then on top of that, unfortunately, guys, like the lifestyle, like the YouTubing and everything is nice, but you could consider being a YouTuber and influencer like a office job, because if you're not vlogging, you're walking around at most, and then you have to sit on a computer and edit all day or night, whatever. With kids, it was at night. So then I was like, face it, like I would put on my Apple Watch or whatever, my smartwatch, and I'd be like, if I don't exercise, I'm just not burning enough calories for what I'm eating, you know? So I just essentially started eating way less, guys. And at the beginning, it was very hard because tienes un gusano en la panza. Your stomach is like basically like this big or whatever, and you have to shrink it on your own. And I heard that the stomach is like a muscle. It can get smaller or it can get bigger. Like really, really obese people, that's why they eat more, because their stomach grew, you know? So then I was like, okay, I'm going to naturally shrink my stomach. No need to do the gastric, on me yet. I was like, I'll give it a try. And sure, I just started eating less, guys. And that's basically it. Like food is the number one reason you're fat.
And like, you know what? Like everyone always says, you need to get in a calorie deficit. And we're like, no, that's not why I'm not losing weight.
No,
that's literally.
It is, guys. And essentially, like, take it from me. I was lifting weights in the morning. No, cardio. Because I would do treadmill, so either like incline or a little light jog, and then lifting weights in the morning, all in one session. And then in the afternoon, I was going on 4 mile, 5 miles. Saturdays, I would go on 7-8 mile long runs, and I was still not losing weight. I was 193. So originally I started at 214. After I got my shit together and started exercising twice a day, but still eating a lot, I was able to get down to 193. So that's 14 plus 7. 21 pounds. Well, originally I got down to 186, but then habits, traveling, I got back to 193. And then I locked in. I started eating less. I stopped giving myself sorry ass excuses. I stopped eating chips. I just stopped all that. And right now I'm 174.
Sheesh.
Which is crazy, guys, too. I haven't been 174 since high school. And so basically from 214 to 174, that's what? 25 plus 14, that's 30, let's just say almost 40 pounds. And so I was holding Belen, right? And I go over to the mirror or to the weigh, because Belen weighs 17 pounds. And I was like, babe, if I had a Belen on one arm and Belen on another, I would still not be as heavy as like the heaviest I got.
Yeah.
Isn't that insane? Because we think of Belen like as a really chubby baby. So I was like, holding 2 Belens at the same time, that still wouldn't be what the weight I lost is.
Yeah. And like all that goes to say, it's calorie deficit. Like everyone knows it. It's that formula. There's no other formula. But also time, because it took you, what would you say, like almost 2 years to like get down to where you are right now?
Well, no, consistently I would say like 6 months.
Yeah, but I'm saying from like your heaviest.
Oh, well, yeah, but I would always have bounce backs. We would go on trips to Cali. I would eat whatever I want. There would be nights where I would be like, fuck it, I'm going to eat this whole bag of Funyuns. I don't care. Like, I hate myself, So I'm saying consistent, what, March?
6 months.
When Belen was born?
Yeah, and all that goes to say, it's like if you really lock in, you start seeing results in like about a month. But then you you just start shredding.
Now, take it for granted, guys. I'm not on no special diet. So I'm still living my life. For you, those that might be thinking like, damn, you've been locked in for 6 months. That sounds miserable. No, I still eat wings. I still eat hot fries, Funyuns, chips. I just eat less. Yeah. So if say I'm going to eat some Funyuns in the morning or afternoon or some Doritos with salsa, unfortunately, that's all I'm going to eat,
Yeah.
So I'm still living life. I'm still getting B-dubs. I'm still eating my wings. I'm still doing whatever the frick I want. Mis tortillas de harina en la mañana. It's just less of it.
Yeah.
But that's our cue, guys. Miss Mamas is mad over there, so we have to go. But thank you so much for tuning in yet again, and we'll see you
next Friday and Thursday.
Later.
Yay Networks.